So it's Sunday, week's gone by. That's pretty much it. Let me see here. We got the 68 Chevelle buttoned up as far as it's gonna go. I didn't get any pictures or footage, it just is. Floor pan buttoned up, quarter panels buttoned up. We got the filler panel between the deck lid and the back glass tacked in place because it's not in its final position. Got the cowl in place. It still needs a dash plate. Needs firewall work. We took it as far as we could. That project, speaking of unicorns, that project had been in the shop a year and a half. And most of the time just kind of set in waiting for parts, waiting for money from the owner. We buttoned it up. I submitted the bill. He picked it up. We're moving on. We needed the real estate. So in your lessons of, so I want to do this, I want my own shop. Let's start there. Unicorns are the shop killer. Because if you figure out how much each square foot of your shop costs you per month, heat, lights, rent, insurance, all the various aspects, just being there, just to have the space. And you break it up into essentially 200 square foot areas. So that's enough room to work on a car, walk around it. That's what a car takes up, 200 square feet ish. Not, anyway, 10 by 20 is a great area to start. That way you got plenty of room. So you factor what you lose because of that. You know, we're up over $200 a month per car in the shop. It's a little higher when you factor out the paint enclosure area, metalwork area where we just have equipment. But a gross idea. You know what your space takes up. It's a bunch of little things that all click together to make the full picture. You can't just take a snapshot of the fiscal health of a shop or any business venture. You have to have several pieces to that puzzle. Know what your space costs you. There you go. And that was something I hadn't sat down and done. Chris and I had sat down and done that about a month ago. And that, and talking to other people that are more business savvy than I, you put me on the floor, I can do the job. I can teach others how to do the job. We got a good rolling rapport with everybody in the shop on the floor. There's 4 of us now. And I want to keep that going. 4, we're sucking wind right now. But 4, we get shit accomplished. And that's pretty much that. That's how that works in that part of the nutshell. With the shop, we got color on the 31 Ford. We got, I got to finish prepping some of the parts of the hood. There's 4 parts of the hood sections. We'll hang those up on wires. I've got 1 fender that needs done because I had a booger on the top of it that I let it go, sand it all down and repaint it. I got a gas cap lid, which I really would have liked to have had to paint on the car, but it didn't happen that way. The Volkswagen, we're piecing it together. I want to be further along on Gary's Volkswagen, but that we're okay. Kind of with the nuts and bolts and guts of what's going on, I'm getting guys portioned out to jobs that they're working on, and then I come in and fill voids, I help out, I make calls, whatever I got to do. Try to spend as much time on the floor as I can. Joe had been working on the Volkswagen when he was capable to. He finished buttoning up the Chevelle. Great place to start cutting your teeth on metal work with what we had to do. A lot of plug welding. He's one hell of a grinder. Not much of a welder yet, but he's learning. he's capable of laying down a strong weld but an ugly weld, and that's not acceptable on a firewall or a cowl, or so they get cleaned up. But see, those are areas, even if you had a picture perfect weld, plug weld, you're going to clean up anyhow. You want them to be real clean looking, not a little rivet head. Because a textbook plug weld looks like a rivet head almost. Actually, it looks exactly like a rivet head. We pulled in a service van to do some work on. I'll let Joe make patch panels for that. Excellent job. Took him a while to do it, but it was his first patch panel job that he just started off with raw materials. He's learning how to take the gauge selector and find out what gauge steel we're working on. As he gets more knowledgeable on the different eras of cars we're dealing with, he'll be able to look at it and go, oh, that's an 05, that's 20 gauge or 24 gauge steel, and go from there. So I gotta go down and actually squirt that van tonight. I'll shoot the chip guard, peel the paper tape off, shoot the sealer along the bottoms, and then spot seal some areas. And then I can shoot the lower half of the van in the white that belongs there. It'll leave tomorrow morning. We're bringing another project. I'm going to try to start filming on that project as we go through it. But yeah, next week will be heavy buckling down. We got a 66 Chevelle to do some frame repairs on. I'm going to try to start filming on that car. The bug I'm going to film because we're taking the roof off of it and putting a rollback roof, roll top roof, rollback roof, whatever they call them, that came off of a 62. Same type of beetle, so we're good there. I'll show you how I do that, then you can criticize from there. That's it. I mean, we've been grinding on the unicorns. Unicorns left our Mercedes, a 66 Chevelle, and a 66 Le Mans. I get the bug gone. I get the Chevelle where we can stage it to start tearing it down for paint and body. We've got an El Camino that's going to come in and get the works. So we're going to work on them side by side. At that point, I can set up a space, an area just to work on the 66 Le Mans. So that'll be, truth be told, that'll be next month. We're in the last week of this month, so that makes sense, right? Very disappointed. We got a 76 Camaro in on final payment with the Monte Carlo, and was supposed to sell. We were supposed to get rid of that, and it was supposed to go to auction and just go away. It didn't sell. Apparently the battery was dead, which we put a fresh battery in it, got it down there, all was good, and then it didn't start. We had an 05 Taurus in the same auction, and it didn't sell because the battery was dead. Some fishy shit going on as far as I'm concerned, so I'm pissed off about that. I'll be relisting all that stuff tomorrow, because that's capital that we have to get actualized back into the shop. There's enough bills to pay that need to get caught up that we have to have that money back in the shop. Where other things go as you plan. So that's it. That's the state of the shop. 72 C10 short box. We're going to start doing some welding on it. I'll hit some footage on it. When we get to cut the roof off the Beetle, I'll get footage of that step by step as we go through it. The 66 Chevelle, I'll probably get some footage up underneath it showing some of the frame repairs I got to do, because it's pretty rough. And yeah, that's basically the sum of the whole right now. The team, the crew, they're learning. I've got to a point I can actually point them at a project and go, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. and split the guys up. I had to last week because I finalized the details on the 31 Ford and I got it in paint. So I was very involved with that. I didn't have the time to bounce and do what I needed to, what I used to need to do. There we go. Everybody's green. They're learning how I want shit done. That's what I prefer right now. We're just going to plug on, keep going, get the money right. Once we get the money right, we'll start hitting things a little harder. Once we can start hitting little things harder, the money will improve. The unicorns just lose you fucking money because you end up robbing Peter to pay Paul. 4 months later, the money in on deposit's been eaten up by overhead. The first worst mistake a guy can make. Sometimes it's the only fucking decision you've got, good or bad. It's only a decision you've got. Pay overhead so I've got lights and somewhere to do this, and you end up treading water to work that all off, get back to where you need to be. Time and material jobs I've started files for. All but one. I need to start a file for the Mercedes and get it where I can actually see in writing what we've done. Go from there. But I'm out. This is Sunday morning coffee. My next thing is to just get a chip like I got in this camera and get some software on a tower that I've got sitting in the living room, get it down at the shop with a monitor, keyboard, mouse. That way when I do have downtime, when I am waiting for people, when I am looking for parts or whatever I gotta do, I can start editing this footage. My life over the last 6 months has taken a whole different turn with a new baby and household responsibilities that I'm physically capable to maintain over the last couple months. I've been busy. I get busy when I get home doing family shit. So if I can get set up so I can pop in and work a little early, stay a little late, get some editing done, bring it in, drop the file, finish it up, and roll on with it. That's the plan. We're going to go from there. I'll talk to y'all later. And I guess my daughter got herself into trouble because she's sitting on the porch crying. My oldest daughter. I'll talk to you all soon.